Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Okay.
I don't think the lab is posted.
Okay. So sorry about that. Let me check this. Oh, I forgot. Oh, sorry. Sorry, please refresh this page and download it. I'm pretty sorry. Okay, I will give you 1 more minute to download it and put it in the in your folder. Okay. So let's get started. Today we are going to learn multiple regression model. Actually, we in lab 28 we learned a little bit multiple linear regression model, right? And today we use another example to show how to understand the multiple regression model. First one, please run the first script to identify your host name, username, and current information, and input your name, number, height, and date. Okay. And in today's class, we used another example. We use hard data CSV file and demand the effect independent variables, biking and smoking, and using a multiple linear regression model. So first of all, you need to load necessary packages, NumPy, Pandas, statistics, math, matplotlib, statistical models, right? And after that, please run this cell to use requests to download the content from the website, from one website, okay? For instance, here you see you can get the remote resources and download it to your folder. For instance, if you don't have this hard data, run it and refresh, then you will see there's one hard data CSV file, right? And we can have a look. So in this example, in this CSV file, we have 498 rows, right? And 4 columns. The first one is the index column, and second one, biking, smoking, heart disease, right? So in this class, we want to explore the relationships between the biking and heart disease and smoking and heart disease, okay? And there are no units in this CSV file, but we know the biking, the unit is biking is miles per week, smoking is packs per week, and heart disease is hospital admissions per 10, not 100,000 for, okay. So we need to read it into a data frame first. So in this way, pandas.read CSV hard data CSV file, right? And next one, we need to use the rename function to rename biking to bike, smoking to smoke, heart disease to disease, and use a sample, get a sample data from the heart from the data frame, okay? The first 3 rows, all right? So, okay, so any questions? Do you have any errors when you run the cells? Okay, next one, we need to use the linear regression model to find the relationship between the bike and smoke. And if you remember in lab 28, we only use one column right here, right? We use a statistics SMF dot OLS ordinary least squared method, right? And this is something we want to predict. This is parameters, right? So we only have one-to-one, right? One-to-one sales to TV, sales to radio, sales to newspaper, right? And then if we want, and after that, if we want to get a linear multiple linear regression model, we use another package. We use sklearn, right? We say it is a popular package in machine learning field, right? So we use this way and the predators. But actually, we can also use the we can also use the statistics models, this one, to define a multiple linear regression model. So into this class, we will learn how to do that. First one, we define this one, right? Import statistics formula API as MF. And after that, we use the OLS as the ordinary least squared method, right? And this one is not one-to-one, it's a disease we want to predict. It's spike plus smoke. It means we want to find the disease with these two columns, spike and smoke. Okay, and after that, data is the data frame, right? It's how to initialize this multiple linear regression model with SMF. Okay, and after that, please do fit to train the model, and after that you can get the intercept, the slope, right? And actually you can also get the R-square and RMSE. It means these two values are used to measure how well a model fits the data set. So if it is very small, it means your model fits the data set well. Okay. So please write. And actually, I think here you don't need to show the intercept or slope. You can just show the parameters, right? So because it's a list, right? Intercept would be the first item, and slope would be the second one and the third one. So we can just print out the parameters. So as you see here, is that intercept would be this one, and the bike and the smoke. Okay, so it means if you want to write this formula or this model, it would be this way, right? Multiply and plus actually it's minus, right? And the plus this one, right? So this one would be the actually this is the model you just generate from this one, right? And you see here is a multiple regression model because it has two slopes for bike and for smoke. All right. And we use this formula to predict something. We use a model.predict, right, to get a hard fail data. And after that, we can plot a figure. In this one, a Canva, and then it is the scatter plot showing the actual data. We use dots, blue dots, to show the actual data, and the x-axis would be bike, and then the y-axis would be the hard fill, and it's a regression line, right? Regression marker, and set a red color, and the line width would be 0, and I will show you why it would be 0. Okay. And here is the different one, is the title line, right? So the title line would be a very long, you use several strings, right? This one is next line, and it's the strings and connect them together. And after that, right? So let's write the result, okay? So it is a title, So this one, first line, and second line, and third line, right? Okay, so and next one, plot figure, scatter plot, and so if we set it at 1, not 0, then you see it's not very clear, right? So you see they're very so that's why here we use a 0, because we only want to show the dots and difference between the actual data and your predicted data. So because as you can see here, it's a 0.2, right? It means it's a negative relative, it's a negative relationship. It means if you have more biking, if you have more miles on biking, then you will have a lower possibility to get a heart disease, right? It's very clear from this figure, right? It's about the relationship between the bike and heart disease. And next one is about the relationship between the heart disease and the smoke, right? We use the smoke as an axis, and all other things is the same. They are all the same. So blue dots and the regression line, right? But in this one, you see it's not very clear, but you can see it's a positive because that's in this way, right? And in this one is a negative way, and here is the positive way, okay? So about this one. Yeah, so any questions so far? Okay, next one is about the summary of the model's parameters. So you can click and you can check the summaries, different summaries that dependent of the variables and time, covariance, and intercept, the bike, smoke, and the skewness, curtices, right? So if they are very useful, but actually I didn't use the last four values. So you can check the manual of the summary and learn what does that mean. But they are very useful. You don't need to calculate this values by yourself. You can just use the summary function to get all the informations. Okay, and it's how to use the SMF.ordinary least squared method to construct a linear regression, multiple linear regression model, and how to show it is feasible or not, and how to get the figure based on your model. Okay, so next is about 2 exercises. So first one, you need to answer with your words. Is there a correlation with the smoking and disease? If there is correlation with the biking and the disease, actually you have this formula, right? You have this model, and you have this figure, so you can answer the questions if there are correlation between the smoking and disease and biking and disease, which is a better lifestyle choice. If the goal is to reduce the disease, and how much better you can answer by your words. This parameter is significant, right? And next one, you can use the tools from laboratory 28, produce a labeled plus a production intervals for disease index using biking and smoking as predators variables. Okay, so next one, you need to write some codes to show this figure. And for exercise 1, you don't need to write any codes, just write your answer with your own words. Okay. All right, so I think that's all I want to share today. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, please feel free to leave the meeting. Have a good lunch and have a nice day. Thank you, guys.